Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we have the second part to the Coffee Cop Squishy Pairing Makeover. So this is a donut I did an unboxing of in a previous video. I'll leave the video up in the, if you click on the eye, it'll be in that list. Anyways, so just to keep everything together, I did put it back in its original packaging. I'm not sure why, because I get rid of all the sprinkles later, but that's what I did. So, again, I want to apologize in advance. I have a cat here right now, so you'll hear some jingling, and she may interrupt me many times. Anywho, so let's take a more detailed look at the donut. Now, the plan for this donut is to make it a pink pairing with Joe, our coffee cop. So this donut has this weird blue plasticky thing on top. It is a slow rise squishy, which is nice, and it's very soft. But the plastic just didn't make sense. Also, it has this keyhole to be able to make it hang off your backpacks or purses or whatever. But we're going to get rid of that because I don't want it on there. Just saying. But other than that, it's a pretty nice squishy. But first, we got to get rid of that blue thing. It's going to annoy me. So, I start trying to take it off using my fingers. And I felt like I was damaging the squishy more by doing this. Like, I was just going to rip it apart, which I guess I am. But, like, rip it in half. So, instead, I get out some scissors and just start hacking away. It is turned into a squishy massacre. But that's okay, because we'll fix it later. But I needed the blue plastic off. I think they had used acrylic paint, maybe, to make this effect, to give it that glazed look. I'm not sure. I just did not enjoy it. So, off comes the blue. As you can see, I'm definitely mangling the squishy. Don't worry, it does get fixed later. But so I decided to save that, even though I don't know what I would use that for, but I saved it. Now to clean up the edges, kind of smooth it out, just hack away and keep hacking. So after cleaning up our workspace, I decide to sand the squishy down, but also take some foam to insert into the little hole left over by taking out the key ring, which you can see me doing here. But I do sand down the squishy just to make applying the fabric paint a little bit more applicable. So yeah. So after fixing the hole and sanding the squishy, I decided to cover all of the fleshy bits with fabric paint. I recently learned from Miss Mariah Elizabeth to use puffy paint, but that was way after this video was filmed, so I'm just using slick paint. In hindsight, I probably should have used puffy paint, but you live and you learn. So I'm just coating all of the rough edges with the slick paint, trying to get a nice smooth coat just on all of the bad sides. So yeah. Then I decide that it's too thin, so I decided to cut out something to put on top out of memory foam. That's what I'm showing here. So I just cut out a basic thin square and then apply it using fabric fusion and some rubber bands. I will say cutting it out was kind of difficult, but I did it. So now that we have a smooth piece, let's apply it. And I just put it on, smother it in fabric fusion, and put some rubber bands around it. After it is dried, it's time to take the rubber bands off. So that's what you see me doing here. Also take scissors and using a very small poking motion. Also, please be careful because this is so sharp. I cut out the hole for the actual donut part. So, but the added memory foam did make the donut thicker, which is what I was aiming for. I also take scissors after cutting out the hole and just smooth it all down. So you see me here being impatient, not wanting to wait to let it expand out. But yeah. So here's the idea I had. I wasn't sure about the eyes, but I knew I definitely wanted a pink top with a white drizzle. And then I thought about putting a name tag, but eventually that idea got scrapped. So here we have me pulling apart the squishy and just smoothing it out. Also cutting out the hole, like I said, and just trimming up the edges, making it nice and smooth. A lot more massacring going on. Now, I also cover this in Slick fabric paint in a vibrant fluorescent pink. It wasn't the exact pink I wanted, but it would do just to cover it. And then later I go back over it with the correct pink I wanted. But I do that with puffy paint instead of slick paint. Now I do sand down the inside just to make it a little bit smoother, and the outside as well. But yeah, so here I am going with slick paint. I do white first, and then I go back in with puffy paint to give it more of a puffed up look, 3D look, smoother look, with fluorescent pink that I eventually mix later using the white slick paint and the puffy paint as well. So this is after the first application of the puffy paint is too pink, but I also decide that the bottom needs repainted as well. I decided I wanted to do more of a chocolatey donut versus a traditional donut. So here you see me mixing the perfect chocolate color. I just take a little bit of white, some of the brown fabric paint, some yellow, and then some orange as well. And we get this nice chocolatey brown. That's not, too chocolate. It's definitely more of a milk chocolate. So here I go. And I applied 2 or 3 coats of this. It was a little thin just to cover everything. And then after 2 or 3 coats, it's nice and thick enough. I also use it to smooth out the where the icing and the donut meets, but this is a lot of back and forth, and that's what you'll get when repainting squishies, or repainting anything for that matter. So this is after 2 or 3 coats of the brown. And now I'm going to, I'm checking to see if it's dry. And now I'm going to mix my own perfect pink to go on top. Using 3D puffy paint and some white slick paint. Just to give it more of a softer overall feel to the squishy. Now, when mixing this color, I actually used a lot more puffy paint than I thought. That's okay, because you can find it at Walmart for really cheap, surprisingly. So I apply 2 or 3 coats of this on top of the squishy, keeping in mind that the more paint you add, the bulkier it's going to look. But it's okay. In the end, I thought it turned out very, very well and was the perfect pink. But this is me applying the first coat. As you can see, it's going to take several coats, and like I said, it took 2 or 3. So this is the finished pink. Now to add the white drizzle. I actually had some white puffy paint that I was going to use. So here you see me applying the perfect drizzle. I also take a dotting tool to help just smooth it out and make it look like it was put on the donut, not like how it looks. But just to give it more of a smoother curves and edges. So yeah. So this is the finished squishy. I did let it dry a couple of days before I took the after photos. But this is it. This is the pink donut to go with our Coffee Cop Joe. I will say this squishy is a big improvement to the original. It doesn't have the hard plasticky blue anymore. Sure, it doesn't have sprinkles, but it does have a drizzle. And it's a lot thicker, which is really nice to squish. It still has the soft underside with the top side. And most of my friends actually enjoy looking at this. I have them currently displayed up in my apartment together, and they really enjoy looking at them. And I enjoy looking at them. It always gives me, you know, oh, I did this. It makes me happy. So here you'll see a picture of the two of them together, and I think they make a fabulous pair. So yeah. So I'm currently editing and doing a lot of videos, so be prepared to be spammed with a lot of videos. But don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell to get notified of my next upload. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye!